Good morning. Welcome to LSEA Yoga. My name is Laura, and today we're doing a quick 10-minute morning stretch. Morning, so let's start lying on our backs. Reach your legs out long in front of you and reach your arms overhead. Interlace your fingers and press your palms away. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Flex the feet and let the feet and the hands reach away from each other. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then release. Leave the arms up overhead, but the elbows bent. And just let the shoulders open up for a second. Now bend the knees, place the bottoms of the feet on the floor, grab the backs of the knees, and then come on up to sit. And we're going to sit up on our knees. So if this isn't super comfortable, you may want to put a blanket or a pillow in between your hips and your heels. Now from here, we're going to scoot the hips over to one side. So we're sitting next to the feet. We're going to take a side stretch. So place your hand on the floor, whichever side you're not sitting on. Reach the other arm up overhead. Just stretch into the side waist. Turn the heart up toward the sky. That'll protect the low back. Deep breaths. If you haven't already, breathe deep and breathe into the armpit that is reaching up and away from your bottom hand. Breathe into the side waist. Let it get long. Now release that and we'll just simply take the other side. So scoot the hips on over to the other side. The other hand goes down, top arm up. Lean into that top armpit. Deep breaths. Looking for a pretty pose here. We're just stretching. So move around to where it feels good and turn that heart, turn your torso up toward the sky. Now release that. Bring the hips on back to center. And maybe turning so that you can come into a squat. And so you want your feet wide, toes turned out, hips drop down, and press the elbows into the knees. You can have your hands floating out into space, or maybe the hands are in prayer. And just close the eyes. And open the hips. Keep that deep, deep breath going. Now you can stay right there. If you want to add a little bit of a twist, let the left fingertips come down and tent the fingertips on the ground. Press that knee away. Then bring your right hand to your right knee and start to press so that you twist toward the right. And you can leave the hand on the knee or you can raise the arm up and reach up toward the sky. You have a binding yoga practice, you might want to turn those thumbs down and wrap your left arm around and then reach back with your right for those fingertips. Twist toward the right, wherever you are. release, come on back to center, and we'll take that to the other side if you want to. You can hang out right here if you like. Right fingertips down, left hand, left knee, press it. So you twist toward the left. Maybe your hand floats up. If you want to bind, turn those thumbs down so your shoulders rotate inward, and then reach around and grasp fingertips, twisting toward the left. Release, come back to center just for a breath, close the eyes. And then place the fingertips on the floor, hips up, head down, forward fold. Knees can be deeply bent here. Feet can be wide or they can be closer together, your choice. But knees are bent so that we can drape the torso over the legs. Hands can be on the floor, the feet, or the shins. Deep breaths. Feet are pressing into the earth, sit bones moving up and away from that. Crown of the head is working toward your toes. So it's not about your nose on your shin, it's more about the top of your head working toward the floor. And press down through all four corners of your feet. And the legs straighten only as much as feels good in your own body. You can have the knees deeply bent here. Now come about halfway up into a flat back. Tent the fingertips out in front of your right toes. Both knees are bent. And then begin to straighten the right leg as you twist toward the right. You can place your hand on your sacrum or maybe reach that hand up toward the sky. Getting into that IT band on the outside of the right leg. Deep breaths. Let the muscles and the connective tissue release with every exhale. And then release that, switch sides. Right fingertips down in front of your left toes and twist toward the left. This time you're bending into the right knee and your left knee is working towards straight. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Now release that, come on back to center. Bend into the knees deeply so you can come on up to stand with a flat back. Maybe step to the front of the mat. We're going to do a little side bending here. So reach the arms up overhead. Grab a hold of the left wrist, or the right wrist, rather. And we're going to start leaning over toward the left. So the hips are going to go right, and then the torso is going to bend toward the left. Again, turning up toward the sky. Maybe coming up onto the toes on the left foot. And those toes and your right armpit are working away from each other. Release that and switch sides. Come on over. Grab a hold of the left wrist. Left hip goes toward the left as we lean toward the right. Turning up to the sky. And then we'll take a standing back bend. So bring your hands to your lower back, fingertips up or down. And we're going to press the hips forward as the chest goes up and away from the heels. Start to bend back, but only as feels good in your own body, and you are aiming the curve into your upper spine. Come on back to standing, bend deeply into the knees, and then place the hands on the floor just so you can lower the knees and come through into a seated position. Legs go out in front. Scoot the hips back, knees are bent. And we'll take a simple forward fold. Inhaling with a long spine, chest reaches forward, and start to tilt toward your toes. Let your chest go forward towards your toes. Again, it's not about the nose on the shin. It's about the top of the head going toward the front of the mat or your toes. Scoot the hips back so that your pelvis tilts, and leave the knees bent to keep your back long. Deep breaths into the backs of the legs. And come on up to sit. Let the bottoms of the feet come together, knees out to the side, Baddha Konasana. Scoot the hips back because, again, we're tilting the pelvis forward. Hands behind, start to lean forward, long spine. Open hips, open heart. On up to sit. Find a simple cross-legged position. Get comfortable. And we'll just end this short little 10-minute stretch with a little gratitude. Hands in prayer in front of the heart, or maybe the backs of the hands to the knees. Close the eyes. Thanks for taking the time to step onto your mat, stretch it out this morning. Have a beautiful day.